First Corinthians chapter 11, verses 17 through 24, it spells out the proper way to come together as a church to partake of the Lord's Supper. And specifically in verses 23 through 26, when it mentions partaking of the Lord's Supper the correct way, it mentions for as often as you do this. Well, what oftenness or what frequency are we supposed to come together? Well, in Acts chapter 20 and verse 7, it says, on the first day of the week, the disciples came together to break bread. That break bread there means partaking of the Lord's Supper. And it also mentions that Paul was doing some preaching there. And when you understand there's some preaching that's supposed to be involved there on the first day of the week when disciples come together, there's another thing that's supposed to be involved on the first day of the week when the disciples come together. First Corinthians chapter 16, verses 1 and 2, Paul mentions a collection for the saints that's supposed to be done on the first day of the week. So we come together as a church on the first day of the week. As a church means a group of people, right? Coming together in an assembly place, wherever that is. We come together as the church to, number one reason, partake of the Lord's Supper. And another aspect of what we do when we come together to partake of the Lord's Supper, there should be some preaching involved. And there should be some giving of funds involved. And again, those are done on the first day of the week. Scripture specifically calls that out. And we're given an example of the apostles and of the first century church that's talked about and spelled out throughout the New Testament. We're supposed to be New Testament Christians following in their example. And that's what we see they did. Hopefully, you are interested in studying more about this because that's really different from what you see with a lot of quote unquote churches or groups and religious organizations around the country and around the world. You don't see that as much, but you have to ask yourself, do you want to follow in what the world does, or do you want to follow in what we can see in the pages of the scripture that's clearly spelled out? I would love to study with you more on this. Please go ahead and give us a call at 843-553-5157 or email us at letthebiblespeak843@gmail.com.